The Persian Gulf at night is not the ocean. It is something older than the ocean, something that existed before maps and before borders, and before the particular human habit of naming things in order to believe they are understood. It is dark water and deep current, and the particular silence of a body of water that has been moving in the same direction for longer than any living thing has been watching it. Cole Barrett knew the Persian Gulf. He had trained in it. He had operated in it. He had spent 12 years developing the particular relationship with open water at night that special operations requires. The relationship of a person who has accepted that the water does not know them and does not care about them, and that this is not a problem, but simply a fact, and that the correct response to a fact is preparation and skill, and the complete willingness to be in the water on its own terms. He had that relationship. What he did not have on the night of June 19th was a boat, or a team, or a radio that was still working after the current had taken him, and Neptune 200 meters from the Insertion vessel, and the Gulf had closed over both of them in the dark. What he had was a Belgian Malinois named Neptune, who had been named for the water, and who had never in his life treated the water as anything other than exactly what it was: his environment, his element, the place where he was most completely himself. This is their story. Stay with me. Before this story goes any further, if you are new here, subscribe to Cool Drama Stories right now. Hit the bell, turn on notifications, because every day we bring you a story exactly like this one. A story that will stay with you long after the screen goes dark. Subscribe now, and stay with me, because this story is just beginning. Cole Barrett grew up in Gloucester, Massachusetts, a fishing town on Cape Ann. The kind of town that has been putting boats on the water for 400 years, and that has lost enough people to the Atlantic to understand in its bones what the water is and what it is not. It is not hostile. It is not the enemy. It is not something you fight or conquer or overcome. It is something you learn. And the learning takes a lifetime and is never finished, and the day you believe you have finished learning, it is the day the water reminds you that you have not. Cole grew up in that understanding. His grandfather had been a fisherman. His father had been a fisherman. His uncle, his cousins, the whole network of family and community that fishing towns produce when they have been fishing the same waters for long enough that the water itself becomes part of the family story. He went on the water for the first time when he was 4 years old. Not to fish, too young for that, just to be on it, to feel the movement of it under the hull, the way the boat responded to the water and the water responded to the boat. The relationship between a floating thing and the medium it floats in. The constant negotiation between the two that you feel in your body before you understand it in your mind, and that you carry in your body for the rest of your life once you have felt it. His father said to him once, when Cole was 12, and they were coming back through the Annisquam River on a flat gray November afternoon, with 40 pounds of haddock in the hold. The water will tell you everything it intends to do, if you listen. Cole had been listening ever since. He enlisted at 20. 2 years at the University of Massachusetts had confirmed what the harbor had been telling him since he was 4 years old. He was built for the water. Not boats specifically, not fishing specifically. Water. The moving kind, the dark kind, the deep kind, the kind that most people prefer to look at from the shore. He passed buds on his first attempt. His class started with 98 candidates, 16 finished. Cole was one of them. His Hell Week instructor, a master chief named Simmons, who had run 22 buds classes in 11 years, wrote this in his evaluation. Barrett is the most water-comfortable candidate I have assessed in 11 years. Not comfortable in the sense of ease, comfortable in the sense of belonging. He is in the water, the way some people are in a room full of people they have known their whole lives. At ease, alert, reading everything, responding to what the water is actually doing rather than what he expects it to do or fears it might do. The Atlantic taught him this. You can tell. It taught him that the water will tell you everything it intends to do. If you listen. He listens. Recommend, without reservation. Note that Barrett will be exceptional in any maritime operation. He should be placed in them as often as operationally possible. He deployed to Iraq in 2010, Afghanistan in 2012, the Persian Gulf in 2014, back to Iraq in 2016, and the Persian Gulf again in 2018 for his 5th deployment, 5 deployments, 12 years of service. His teammates across all 5 used one word:
Fluid. Not fluid like flexible.
Not fluid like adaptable. Fluid like water. Moving through situations the way water moves through terrain. Not forcing. Not fighting. Finding the path available and moving through it completely, and without the particular human tendency to resist what the environment is giving you, in favor of what you expected or planned for. His team leader on his third deployment, Commander Walsh, said this: Cole Barrett is the most effective maritime operator I have served with in 18 years. Not because of his physical ability in the water, though his physical ability is exceptional, because of his relationship with it. He does not operate in the water. He operates with it, as if the water is a partner, rather than a medium, as if it is giving him information continuously, and he is continuously using it. I have seen operators who are afraid of the water. I have seen operators who are comfortable in the water. Barrett is different from both. He belongs to it, and it to him, in the same way that the harbor he grew up on belongs to the town that has been fishing it for 400 years. Neptune came into Cole's life in the spring of 2017. He was a Belgian Malinois, 67 pounds, dark fawn with a black mask, smaller than average for his breed, built lower to the ground, with a coat that had a quality in the water that the kennel master at the naval facility in Bahrain, who had been matching handler pairs for 16 years, had never seen in another dog. It shed water. Not in the normal way that dog coats shed water after immersion. Neptune's coat shed water in motion. Moving water ran off him, the way it runs off a surface that has been engineered to resist it. Fast, complete, without retention, as if he had been built for the water. The kennel master at Bahrain, a man named Torres, who had worked with maritime K9 units for 16 years, had matched Neptune with 3 previous handlers before Cole arrived. All 3 had been good handlers. All 3 had worked with Neptune effectively in standard operations. None of them had understood him. Torres explained this to Cole before he took him to meet Neptune. He is a water dog, Torres said, not in the sense that he has been trained for water operations, in the sense that water is his element. Some dogs are built for the desert, some for the mountains. Neptune was built for the water. He is most himself in it, most focused, most capable. Most completely Neptune. On land, he is exceptional. In the water, he is something else. What? Cole said. Torres thought about it. Complete, he said. In the water, Neptune is complete in a way that he is not anywhere else. Cole looked toward the kennels. His training records, Cole said. Torres handed him the file. The notation read, Neptune demonstrates a maritime operations profile that is without precedent in our K9 assessment history. In open water scenarios, Neptune does not simply function. He excels. His swimming endurance exceeds all previous subjects tested at every distance assessed. His navigation in open water without visual reference points relies on mechanisms that our assessment team has been unable to fully identify. In 3 separate open water navigation scenarios conducted in darkness, Neptune returned to the designated recovery point from distances of 200, 350, and 500 meters respectively, without visual reference and without handler direction. He uses the water, the current, the temperature differentials, the particular qualities of the water surface that tell you things about where you are and where you need to go if you know how to read them. Neptune reads them. He navigates open water in darkness the way experienced maritime operators navigate with instruments. Except Neptune has no instruments. He has the water. And the water tells him everything he needs to know. Cole read the notation, set the file down, looked at Torres. He listens to the water, Cole said. Torres looked at him. You understand that? Torres said. Cole looked toward the kennels. My father told me when I was 12 years old that the water will tell you everything it intends to do, if you listen. Neptune listens. Torres was quiet for a moment. Then, I have been waiting for this handler for 8 months. Take me to him, Cole said. Neptune was not in the kennel run. He was in the training pool. Not training, not being worked, just in the water, moving through it. The slow, deliberate movement of a dog that is not exercising, but inhabiting. The way a person floats in a body of water, not because they are tired, but because the water is where they want to be. Cole stood at the edge of the pool. Neptune moved through the water, and then stopped, in the middle of the pool, and looked at Cole, the way the harbor looked at you on a clear morning. Flat, moving, completely honest. Cole crouched at the pool's edge. Neptune swam to him, pulled himself out of the water with the ease of a body that does this constantly, that has done this his whole life, that finds the transition between water and land effortless because he belongs to both. He pressed his forehead against Cole's. Wet, cold, complete. The way the harbor feels when you come back to it after a long time away. Cole put both hands on either side of Neptune's face and felt the water running off him. Fast, complete, without retention. Yeah, Cole said quietly. Torres, watching from across the pool, said he had never seen Neptune come out of the water for a person before. Not for him. Not for the 3 previous handlers. Not for anyone. Neptune came out of the water for the people he needed to be with. He had never needed to be with anyone. Until Cole. Over the following 16 months, Cole and Neptune became what the unit called a maritime pair. Not because of any designation. Because everyone who worked with them in any water operation knew that what they were in the water was different from anything the unit had seen before. In 7 operations, Neptune detected 4 underwater IED placements, navigated 2 open water approaches in complete darkness without instrumentation, located 1 missing swimmer who had been separated from the Insertion team by current, and who Neptune found by reading the water and understanding from it where the current would have taken a person of specific weight and velocity. He found him 800 meters from the separation point, by reading the water. His teammates called him one word: current. Because Neptune did not move through the water. He moved with it, using it, reading it, as if he and the water had an arrangement that the rest of the team was not party to. At night, Neptune slept with his head pointing toward the water. Always. Whatever direction the nearest body of water was in. The Gulf, a harbor, a river, a pool. His head pointed toward it, as if even in sleep he was oriented to it. Cole wrote to his father once from Bahrain. There is a dog here named Neptune. He navigates open water in complete darkness without instruments. He reads the current and the temperature and the surface texture the way you read the anisquam on a flat November morning. He knows where he is in the water without being able to see, because the water tells him. The same way you always said. The water will tell you everything it intends to do, if you listen. Neptune listens. His father wrote back, "Son, bring him home when you are done. I want to put him on the water." Operation Dark Water came in June, 19th of June, 2018. Outside temperature, 31 Celsius. Water temperature, 28 Celsius. Visibility on the surface, poor. Cloud cover complete. Wind from the northwest at 22 miles per hour. Chop on the surface. The Persian Gulf on a June night, moving with the particular energy of a body of water that is never entirely still. The objective: a vessel operating in international waters that intelligence had identified as a transfer point for weapons moving through the Gulf. Maritime boarding operation. Standard protocol. The vessel was moving at low speed northeast. The insertion vessel would approach from the southwest. The team would insert by inflatable at 200 meters and board from the water. Cole briefed Neptune the way he always briefed him. In the water, not beside it. In it. Both of them in the training pool, treading water, eye to eye. Because Neptune processed briefings better in the water than anywhere else. It is the Gulf tonight, Cole said. Moving water. Some chop. We insert at 200 meters, and board. You stay with me in the water, until we are on the vessel. Then you work the vessel. You find what they are carrying. Neptune looked at him. His eyes in the water were different from his eyes on land. More present. More complete. The way some people are more completely themselves in certain environments. Neptune pressed his forehead against Cole's. Underwater for a moment. Then surfaced. His version of copy. They inserted at 2200 hours. The inflatable carrying the 6-man team plus Neptune hit the water at 200 meters from the target vessel. Clean insertion. The target vessel was moving northeast at 4 knots. The inflatable moved to intercept. At 150 meters, Neptune's ears went forward. Cole read him. Not an alert. Not a hazard reading. Something in the water. Cole looked at the surface. The chop had changed. Not obviously. Not in a way that most people on the inflatable had noticed. But the chop had changed. A convergence of swells. A section of water where the northwest wind swell and the northeast vessel wake were meeting and combining into a pattern that was moving directly toward the inflatable's starboard side. Cole had 1 second. He put his hand on Neptune's back and held. The swell hit the inflatable on the starboard side and flipped it. 6 operators. 1 dog. The Persian Gulf, 200 meters from the target vessel. Dark water. Cole came up fast. Counted heads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 was missing. He looked. Petty Officer First Class Graves. 20 meters to his right. Not moving. Not swimming. Face up. The swell had hit him hard. He was disoriented. Not conscious of where he was. Cole moved toward him. And felt the current. The current that the swell had created. Moving northeast. Taking everything that had been in the inflatable and moving it northeast in the dark. Including Neptune. Cole reached Graves. Got his arm. Began towing. He looked for Neptune. The water was dark. The surface was moving. The chop was breaking the available ambient light into fragments. Neptune was not where he had been. Neptune was not anywhere Cole could see. The current ran northeast at approximately 1 knot. Not fast. Not aggressive. Patient. The way the Gulf was always patient. Cole got Graves to another operator. Handed him off. And turned to look for Neptune. The surface of the Gulf moved in the dark. The chop. The wind. The particular visual noise of a moving body of water at night. That makes the reading of it require the kind of attention that Cole's father had spent 20 years teaching him, and that Cole had spent 12 years developing. He read it, and saw Neptune at 120 meters, moving northeast with the current, not fighting it, moving with it, the way Neptune always moved with the water, using it, as if the current was not carrying him but transporting him, as if there was a distinction between those two things that Neptune understood, and that the current itself was complicit in. Cole had 3 seconds to decide. His team was in the water. Graves was disoriented. The insertion vessel was 200 meters southwest. The target vessel was 150 meters northeast. The current was running northeast. Neptune was 120 meters northeast. 3 seconds. Cole went northeast, not chasing the current, moving with it, the way his father had taught him. You do not fight the current. You read it, and find the line within it and move along the line. He found the line, and in 4 minutes he reached Neptune. Neptune was treading water, not panicking, not struggling, treading water with the complete calm of something that is in its element. He looked at Cole when Cole reached him, the way the harbor looked at you, flat, moving, completely honest. Cole put his arm around Neptune. Neptune pressed against him. They treaded water together, 240 meters northeast of the insertion point. In the dark, in the Persian Gulf. No boat, no radio. The communications equipment had gone over with the inflatable. Cole looked at the sky. No stars. Complete cloud cover. The Gulf moving around them. The target vessel now to their southwest, its lights visible. He assessed the situation. Current running northeast at 1 knot. Insertion vessel 240 meters southwest. Target vessel 200 meters southwest but moving northeast and therefore getting closer. Water temperature 28 Celsius. Survivable indefinitely at that temperature. His team. Unknown status. Presumably regrouped at the insertion vessel. Communications. None. Neptune. Present. Completely calm. Reading the water. Cole looked at Neptune. What do you read? He said. Not a question he would have asked anyone else. Not a question he would have asked any other dog. But Neptune read the water. And the water told you everything it intended to do. If you listened. Neptune was listening. Cole watched him. Neptune's eyes moved. Across the surface. Reading the texture. The way it moved. The direction of the small chop relative to the larger swell. The temperature differentials that existed between different sections of the surface. Things that Cole could feel but not process as quickly as Neptune processed them. Then Neptune oriented. Northwest. Not southwest toward the insertion vessel. Not northeast with the current. Northwest. Cole looked northwest. Nothing visible. Dark water. Moving surface. He looked at Neptune. Neptune looked at him. Then looked northwest. Cole thought about his father. The water will tell you everything it intends to do, if you listen. Neptune was listening. Cole trusted Neptune. He trusted him the way you trust the water when you have learned to read it. Not blindly. Not carelessly. With the complete and committed attention of someone who has listened for long enough to know when the water is telling you something real. Northwest, Cole said. And they moved. They swam northwest for 40 minutes, Cole moving with the water, not fighting the current but not fully surrendering to it either. Finding the line that his father had taught him existed in every body of moving water, the path that was available within the current that moved at an angle to the current and that took you where you needed to go without requiring you to fight the medium that would exhaust you if you fought it. Neptune moved beside him, not ahead, not behind, beside, the way he always was in the water, as if they were not a handler and a dog, but two beings moving through the same element together, as if the water had made them equal in a way that the land did not. Cole watched Neptune as they moved. Neptune was reading the water continuously. The surface texture, the temperature, the subtle changes in the current that told you things about what was below you and around you and ahead of you if you knew how to interpret them. He was navigating, without instruments, without visual reference, the way the notation had described, the way Cole's father had navigated the Anasquam for 40 years, by reading what the water was giving him and using it. At 40 minutes Neptune changed direction. Southeast. Cole followed. At 43 minutes Neptune stopped. Cole stopped with him. They treaded water. Cole looked around. Nothing. Then Neptune turned south. And Cole felt it. A change in the water beneath him. A slight difference in the surface texture. The particular quality of the water that exists near a vessel that has been stationary for a period of time. The way the water organizes itself around a fixed object. Something was there. Not the insertion vessel. Too small for that. Cole looked south, and in the darkness 20 meters away he saw a shape. Low in the water. An inflatable. Empty. They're inflatable. Upside down. But there. Caught in a secondary eddy. A section of water that was moving in a slow circle created by the interaction of the main current and the hull of the target vessel 200 meters to the south. Neptune had read that eddy, had navigated to it, had found the inflatable by understanding the water and knowing from what the water was telling him where a floating object of specific size and shape and buoyancy would go when the swell hit it. Cole righted the inflatable, found the emergency radio in the waterproof compartment under the starboard bench. Activated it. His team leader's voice came back in 20 seconds. Cole, where are you? Cole looked at Neptune. Neptune looked at the water. Following the current, Cole said. We are coming to you. If this story is moving you, and I believe it is, take 5 seconds right now. Hit the like button. Subscribe to Cool Drama Stories if you haven't already. Every like tells YouTube that this story deserves to be heard by more people. And there are more people who need to hear it. Hit like right now, and let's keep going, because the best part of this story is still ahead. They were back with the team at 23:40 hours, 47 minutes after the inflatable capsized. Walsh had regrouped the team at the insertion vessel. Graves had recovered. The communications equipment had been replaced from the insertion vessel's backup stores. The operation had been delayed but not aborted. Walsh looked at Cole when he brought the inflatable alongside, then looked at Neptune. He found the boat, Walsh said. Cole looked at Neptune. Neptune was already reading the Gulf, looking at the target vessel, looking at the water between them and it. Reading the current, reading the surface, finding the line. He found it, Cole said. He read the current and found where the eddy had taken it. Walsh looked at the water. How, he said. Cole thought about his father. The water will tell you everything it intends to do, if you listen. Neptune listens, Cole said. The operation resumed at midnight. The second insertion was clean, the boarding was clean. Neptune worked the target vessel for 40 minutes and detected 2 concealed compartments that the intelligence had not identified and that contained the weapons that the operation had been searching for. The vessel was secured. The operation was complete.
Neptune sat on the deck of the target vessel after the search was finished and looked at the Gulf. The dark water moving around the vessel, the current running northeast. The surface reading everything that was happening beneath it and above it and through it. He read it, the way he always read it, completely. Without effort. Without the gap between the water and the understanding of it that most people spend their whole lives trying to close. Cole stood beside him, looking at the same water. "Your father," Walsh said from behind them. Cole looked at him. "He was a fisherman," Cole said. Walsh looked at the water. "You grew up reading it." Cole looked at Neptune. "He reads it better than I do," Cole said. Walsh looked at Neptune. Neptune looked at the Gulf. "Yeah," Walsh said, "I believe that." Cole completed the remaining 10 weeks of his 5th deployment, and filed his separation papers on the last day. 12 years, 5 deployments, complete. He filed Neptune's adoption papers the same morning, not as a decision, as an acknowledgement. The decision had been made the day Neptune came out of the training pool and pressed his forehead against Cole's, and Cole felt the water running off him. Fast. Complete. Without retention.
The decision had been made before either of them had done a single thing together. Some decisions do not require deliberation. They only require recognition. Torres signed the transfer without comment, then looked at Cole, then looked at Neptune. "He found the inflatable," Torres said. "By reading the water," Cole said. Torres looked at the Gulf outside the facility window. After a long moment he said, "Your father would understand." Cole looked at Neptune. "Yeah," he said. "He would." Cole flew home to Gloucester in September. His father was at the airport, 73 years old, the hands of a fisherman, the eyes of someone who has been reading the water for 50 years, and who will never entirely stop. He looked at Neptune when Cole set the carrier down and opened the door. Neptune walked out, stood, and oriented, east, toward the Atlantic, the way he always oriented toward water, his head pointing at it, reading it from 60 miles away, through the particular quality of the air that comes off large bodies of water, and that tells you things about the water, if you know how to read the air. Cole's father watched him. For a long time, his head pointed east. His father said, "He can feel it from here," Cole said. His father looked at Neptune. Neptune looked east, reading the Atlantic. His father crouched down slowly. Neptune turned from the east, looked at the old man, took 10 seconds, then walked to him, and pressed his forehead against the old man's hand, the way he had pressed it against Cole's in the training pool in Bahrain. Wet eyes, complete, the recognition of something that has found what it was looking for. His father stood up very slowly, looked at Cole. "The water sent him to me," his father said. Cole looked at Neptune. "The water sent him a long way," Cole said. Today Cole Barrett lives in Gloucester, Massachusetts. 3 blocks from the harbor, his family has fished for 4 generations. He works on the water, not fishing. Marine research. Spending his days on the Atlantic, reading the current and the temperature and the surface texture and the particular qualities of the water that tell you things about what is happening beneath it, and where it is going, and what it intends to do. He is exceptional at it. His colleagues say he has a quality that most marine researchers develop over decades. He reads the water as if it is talking to him. It is. It always has been. Neptune works with him. On the research vessel, in the water beside the hull, when Cole is in it. On the deck when Cole is on it. Reading the Gulf of Maine with the same complete and continuous attention that he read the Persian Gulf. Always reading. Always listening. Always finding what the water is telling him. His father comes on the vessel sometimes, when the weather is good and the Gulf of Maine is in one of its generous moods. On those days, the 3 of them are on the water together. The old fisherman reading the surface from 50 years of practice. The seal reading it from 12 years of training and a lifetime of listening. And between them, a Belgian Malinois reading it from somewhere deeper than either of them. From somewhere that is not practice or training or learning. From somewhere that is simply what he is. Neptune, named for the water, complete in it, listening to everything it intends to do. Cole wrote to his sister once. 2 years after Gloucester, 2 years after Neptune and the Persian Gulf and the 47 minutes in the dark current, and the morning the inflatable was where Neptune had read the water and said it would be. He wrote, Dad always said the water will tell you everything it intends to do if you listen. I spent 12 years learning to listen. Neptune was born listening. He navigated 240 meters of dark Persian Gulf current in 43 minutes without instruments, without visual reference, without anything except what the water was telling him, and found an inflatable that was nowhere on any surface, and that the water had taken, and that Neptune read the current and understood where the current would put a thing of specific size and specific buoyancy, and he found it, because the water told him where it was, and Neptune listened. I have been listening to the water since I was 4 years old. I have never heard it the way Neptune hears it. I do not think I ever will. But I am grateful every day that he is there, listening, for both of us. Some bonds are not made in training. They are not made in the briefing room, or the kennel, or the after-action report, or the morning you come alongside an upside-down inflatable in the Persian Gulf that your dog found in the dark by reading the current. They are made in the recognition. The moment in a training pool in Bahrain, when a Belgian Malinois comes out of the water for the first time for anyone, and presses his forehead against a man from Gloucester, Massachusetts, who grew up hearing that the water will tell you everything it intends to do if you listen. And both of them understood
that they were listening to the same thing. Cole Barrett spent 47 minutes in the dark Persian Gulf without a boat or a radio, because the current had taken them 240 meters from where they needed to be. Neptune read the current, found the inflatable, brought them home, because the water told him where it was. And he listened. If this story moved you, share it with someone who needs to hear it today. If this story moved you, share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Subscribe to Cool Drama Stories right now if you haven't already. Hit the bell. Turn on every notification. Because tomorrow, we have another story that is going to hit you just as hard as this one. Maybe harder. This is Cool Drama Stories. And we are just getting started. Subscribe now. The next story is already waiting.